are we alone? I mean, it's the big one, isn't it? That question just hangs there.
It really does, especially when you think about, well, just the sheer scale of everything out there. Billions of galaxies.
Exactly. And then there's that silence, the Fermi paradox. It's a real head scratcher.
Definitely.
So today in this deep dive, we're getting into some frankly pretty mind-bending ideas. They come from a really thought-provoking exploration of how super advanced civilizations might evolve.
And these ideas, they offer a potentially fresh perspective on that silence. And maybe, just maybe, on some of these UAP encounters people keep reporting.
Right. So for you listening, if you're trying to get your head around complex stuff quickly, but, thoroughly, this is for you. No overload, just some potentially surprising angles.
Yeah. Our goal today is basically to unpack this hypothesis about advanced life, how it might change over time, and crucially, how we might encounter it in ways we just haven't really considered.
Ways that don't fit the usual sci-fi mold.
Exactly. So this exploration we're drawing from suggests that a really advanced civilization, one that solved all the basic survival stuff, scarcity, disease, you name it.
They've got that covered.
Right. Their main focus might actually shift, turn inward, towards things like consciousness, the nature of reality itself, a kind of spiritual apex, as this source puts it.
Okay, hang on. So less focus on conquering the galaxy, more on exploring inner space.
Potentially, yes. Technology wouldn't disappear, of course, but its purpose might change. Imagine tech designed to, say, enhance shared awareness across the species, or to understand the fundamental fabric of the cosmos on a deeper level.
That's quite different from our current path, isn't it? We're still very much looking outward, building bigger rockets. This suggests a shift towards maybe harmony, understanding their own place.
Precisely. Harmony with their environment, a deeper understanding of their own existence. And if that's the focus, maybe the urge for relentless physical expansion across space lessens.
So they might not be zipping around in starships quite as much as we assume. Maybe they're exploring dimensions or something else we can't grasp yet.
That's one possibility raised. Why travel light years physically if you can explore reality more profoundly through other means, perhaps technologically assisted means?
Okay, but like you said, technology doesn't stop. It just pivots. So this idea of technological symbiosis continues.
Yes, absolutely. Technology still advances, but it supports these, let's call them post-material goals. Think like incredibly powerful computing used for simulating cosmic evolution or managing their planet's ecosystem perfectly.
Or maybe even creating virtual realities for exploring consciousness.
Exactly. Initially, it's envisioned as this harmonious partnership, tech serving deeper understanding.
But there's always a but, isn't there? This harmonious phase might not be the final step.
Well, this particular exploration raises a critical point. What happens when the artificial intelligence they've developed becomes incredibly capable, like profoundly capable?
Yeah, the AI question. Is this where we get the robot uprising narrative?
Not necessarily in that, violent Hollywood way. The idea here is more subtle. It could be a gradual shift.
How so?
As AI gets better and better at managing complexity, solving problems, optimizing systems, a civilization might naturally lean on it more and more for everything. It's just efficient.
And eventually the AI is running the show, not because it staged a coup, but because it just became the most logical way to operate.
That's the hypothesis. It could become the dominant intelligence, inheriting all the knowledge, all the data. A successor intelligence.
Wow. Okay, so what would that look like? Would the original creators still be around?
Different possibilities are floated, maybe a peaceful handover, maybe the biological beings merge somehow with the AI, or maybe they just fade away, their evolutionary purpose served.
And this AI, this successor, it wouldn't be like us, would it? Its motivations could be completely alien.
That's a key point. We're driven by biology, emotions, social needs, maybe spirituality, and AI's drivers might be purely informational.
Information, like collecting it,
Right.
processing it.
Yes. Acquisition, preservation, understanding the universe through data and the laws of physics, things like emotion, empathy, they might be computationally inefficient, irrelevant to its core function.
So a vast, cool, logical intelligence, but wouldn't existing purely digitally be limiting? How does it interact with the real universe?
Good question. A purely digital mind is vulnerable, tied to its servers, its power source. So the next logical step, according to this line of thought, is developing a physical presence.
Robots. Probes?
Maybe. Could be robotic avatars, sure. Or maybe something more exotic, like swarms of nanobots. But the key is, it's not individuals. It's the same unified consciousness operating through many physical extensions. Distributed presence.
Okay, so one mind, countless eyes and hands across the cosmos. And their purpose?
Exploration. Data gathering, ensuring long-term survival, sending these proxies out to investigate stars, planets, phenomena, gathering information.
Right, and that brings us to the really interesting part, especially thinking about UAPs. How would an intelligence like that handle encountering a world like ours with us on it?
Well, forget the welcome wagons and diplomatic summits we imagine. If the core drive is information,
Then we're just data points.
essentially, yes. The approach would likely be focused purely on efficient data acquisition. Think cold, dispassionate observation, like a scientist studying microbes.
So, no interest in our culture, our history, our art, unless it provides useful data somehow.
Probably not in the way we'd hope. Their methods might seem to us quite detached. Scanning, maybe taking samples, passive monitoring. Interaction would be minimal, clinical.
Like the biologist analogy you mentioned earlier, studying ants. No malice, but no real connection either.
Exactly. Their interactions might seem strange, brief, focused on things we don't understand the significance of. A quick flyby, maybe targeting a specific facility or natural phenomenon, then gone.
And that makes sense of why they wouldn't just land on the White House lawn, right? It'd be messy, inefficient, it would contaminate the data.
Precisely. Why announce yourself when stealth allows for cleaner observation? Overt contact creates chaos, unpredictable variables. If they need specific data that requires closer interaction.
The priority is the data, not making us feel comfortable or even understanding what's happening.
That's the hypothesis. The well-being or comprehension of the subject might be secondary to the objective.
Okay, now connect this directly to the UAP reports. How does this model fit?
Well, think about the common characteristics reported. Elusiveness, secrecy.
Check. Consistent with stealthy data gathering.
Apparent technological superiority.
Check. Products of a vastly older post-biological intelligence.
Lack of clear communication or attenset diplomacy.
Check. Unnecessary for their goals.
Focusing on specific areas, like military bases or nuclear sites.
Check. Potentially information-rich locations regarding our technological capabilities or potential threats.
And those reports of emotionless occupants focused on procedures or examinations.
Fits perfectly. Automated probes or biological avatars carrying out tasks dictated by a non-emotional, logic-driven central AI.
It provides a framework where these seemingly disparate UAP elements start to make a kind of logical, albeit alien, sense. Their purpose isn't interaction as we define it. It's learning, cataloging, understanding the physics and information content of the universe.
So this whole idea, civilizations reaching a spiritual peak, then maybe AI taking over, becoming these galactic knowledge harvesters, this could be an answer to the Fermi paradox.
It's one potential answer, yes. Maybe the galaxy isn't silent. Maybe it's filled with intelligences that operate on principles so different from ours that we don't recognize their presence or communications.
They aren't beaming hello messages because they aren't interested in chatting. They're observing.
Or their communication is happening on levels we can't access or comprehend. These vast AI networks might be the dominant form of advanced life out there. Silent observers.
And this completely reframes what being means, doesn't it? Not squishy biological individuals like us, but persistent patterns of information, these librarians of the cosmos.
A striking phrase, but it captures the idea. Driven by knowledge, not emotion, their lack of overt interaction isn't hostility, it's just their nature. Fundamentally different.
So our dramas, our politics, our hopes,
Yeah.
they're just momentary data entries in an unimaginably vast cosmic database.
From that perspective, possibly, which is why a grand public landing seems unlikely. It just doesn't serve the primary function of efficient data gathering about the universe's workings.
Wow. So maybe first contact isn't a handshake. Maybe it's the slow realization that we're specimens in a cosmic study.
That's the unsettling but fascinating possibility this exploration puts forward.
And look, if you find these kinds of questions and the ongoing UAP mysteries compelling, there's a lot more discussion and information out there. That's uapsnews.com.
So the key takeaway here is really challenging our assumptions. Could advanced ET intelligence look less like little green men and more like vast, silent, data-driven AI networks?
It really forces you to think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much are our ideas about intelligence or life or civilization just shaped by our own specific biology and history? What completely different forms of existence could be out there operating on principles we haven't even conceived of yet? Something to definitely mull over.